Alright guys, now that you have some basics about who your ideal customer is, I want to explain to you in this short lesson what are the 3 types of audiences on Facebook. Wherever you are doing any sort of targeting, whenever you are actually trying to find your customers, your audience is going to fit into one of these 3 categories at any given day. Sometimes you're going to be using all 3 of them during different campaigns. Sometimes you're going to use one or more or the other. Sometimes you're going to see a lot of power in one of them and you're going to scale that one, and maybe the other ones you don't pay so much attention to. So let me basically summarize them to you. Now, just so you know, later on this lesson, on this module, we're going to be covering all of them. I'm going to give you examples as to how they can apply to different times and how you can use them to your advantage. They are all really powerful. So number 1, the number 1 audience on Facebook is what Facebook calls the core audience. What is a core audience? The core audience is basically using Facebook's data about every single user for you as an advertiser to try to get closer to them and pinpoint the people that are more likely to engage with your brand. Now, what is that user data? We're talking about their data, not our data. It's not our customer list. It's nothing else but their data. What are they interested in? Do they like Gucci? Do they like children, animals? Are they married? Are they single? What pages are they interested in? What is the age demographic? What are their birth dates? Any single piece of information that you have given to Facebook along the way, whether it is through engagement with other pages, engagement with other profiles, for your own information that you have provided along the way. You know how Facebook has been motivating people to give them more data. Like, you once in a while log in and they say like, hey, complete your profile. They ask for more data. They want to have information about you. What are your positions? What do you work on? Do you have a career? Did you finish university? Did you finish high school? Guys, it's crazy. You don't sometimes notice this, but throughout the years, they have been accumulating this data, and now advertisers have access to that data and we can use it for our targeting. So that is a core audience, and by itself is really, really powerful. And you can use it to actually run successful campaigns. You can use it mainly, this is what I use the core audience for, finding cold traffic and converting them into warmer traffic. It is the first point of contact. There's gonna be another one I'm gonna talk about later on this lesson that I also use for that quite a bit, sometimes more often than this one, but this one is really powerful because, for example, if I am in the business of helping entrepreneurs be successful and run their marketing and help them sell more products, generate more income for themselves, and build awesome businesses, wouldn't it be cool for me to have data about who's a businessman, who's an entrepreneur, who's a marketer, who's into my subjects? Instead of me just being wide and just not targeting anybody specific and just saying like, hey, why don't you put this video of me talking about business in front of 18-year-olds to 65-year-olds? That doesn't make sense because most of those people, guys, are not gonna be interested in me. That's a reality. Most people, unlike you and me, are not marketers, are not interested in building businesses. We are the minority. So finding the right audience for me is a big deal, just like it is for you. And for every one of you guys out there, if you want to be successful, you got to find the right audience. So you can use the Facebook data, the core audience data, to find your audience. In that example, for example, I can target people that are interested in, let's say, a marketer that I follow for many years, Gary Vaynerchuk, or the founder of ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson, or teachers that I've had along the way, or big Facebook pages that talk about advertising. There's many, many different options that I can use to find people that are connected with entrepreneurship. They want to build businesses. When I use that data, guys, again, to summarize it, I'm using the core audience data. Whether they're single, household incomes, whether they have kids, they have interest in certain things, they're online buyers, they buy stuff online nonstop, or they actually just window shop like on the digital world. Whatever it is, guys, whenever I'm using their data to find an audience, it's a core audience. Make sense? Okay, number 2. The number 2 is one of the most important ones. Why? Because we are actually grabbing the data that we already have, our existing data. For any of us that have been doing business for a while, we usually have lists. You know what they say, the money is in the list. So on this particular audience, we called it a custom audience. Basically, there's many different custom audiences we're gonna talk about later on. One of them is actually a customer list. When you give Facebook a customer audience, a customer list on an Excel sheet that we talked about that, and that I'm gonna be covering also with you guys step by step on how to do this. But when you give Facebook that data, then they actually contact those guys. You see the difference? The first one, the core audience, their data. The second one, the custom audience, your data. All you're doing is you're giving it to Facebook, and Facebook uses, this is the cool thing, because of the security issues that they have, Facebook actually puts it on the middle. And there's like this software that they never see the data. Facebook never sees that data. They use a software, a particular security system to locate those users without ever having that data. So whatever data you give to Facebook, emails, phone numbers, information about a customer, stays in the middle. It's like a cloud that nobody has access to. And once you put it into the system, it stays there. That is a custom audience. And you can use that to many, many different things. Like you can promote specials, you can bring them back into the store, you can get them to get active, you can actually have them share your content because they're already connected with your brand. Many different things with your customer list. And we're gonna cover that, and I'm gonna give you guys later on examples on how to actually go about and run an ad to a custom audience, a list of your people. A custom audience can also be people that are watching your videos. You can create a custom audience about that, and we will cover that later on. How to create audiences based on what I call buckets. This is something that I made up. Buckets of people. There's a bucket of people that watch 25% of the content of a video. Let's say that you put a video out there that is 10 minutes long. If somebody watches for 2.5 minutes, well, they go into the bucket of 25% video watchers. Then you also have 50%, etc. So those are custom audiences. It's not based on Facebook's data. Website visitors is not Facebook's data. It's your data from your website. That's also a custom audience. That makes sense? Okay, good. So we're gonna talk about that later on. The third and final one is one of my favorite ones. And it's a really, really, really powerful thing that is, I can guarantee you, heavily, heavily underutilized. And that is what they call the lookalike audience. I'm gonna do a lesson later on this module to clarify completely for you how to create a lookalike audience. But the question that you can ask me is, what does that mean? What is a lookalike audience? The name says it all. A lookalike audience is an audience that is very similar to an existing list of something that you already have. It could be a list of your customers. It can be a list of video watchers. It could be a list of people that share your content, that message your page, that visit your website, that purchase products from your page, whatever it is. Imagine being able, let's say that you have, for example, 5,000 sales on your store. You have a Shopify shop and you sold 5,000 items in there. Could you imagine how powerful it would be if you grab that list of 5,000 buyers, only those 5,000 buyers, forget about the other 100,000 emails that you have. You grab that list and you give it to Facebook and you tell Facebook, I want you to find me customers that are similar to these 5,000 people. Similar age demographics, similar income levels, similar interests, similar everything. What Facebook usually does is they find 6 matching traits between that list of your customers and a new audience that doesn't even know you yet. And they build something called a lookalike audience. So you can do this for, people that message your page, people that actually have seen 95% of your videos. Imagine that. If you have a 2-minute video and somebody sits down and watches 95% of that video or more, that is a gold mine, especially when we're talking about 7-second attention span on this planet. Somebody watches 2 minutes of it, trust me, that person is valuable. If you can have that data and you can give it to Facebook and you can be like, Facebook, these guys are awesome because they have consumed 95% of my videos. I want you to help me find people that are similar to this. Are you getting the power? So now, every single dollar that you spend on Facebook ads is not spent randomly. It's spent using the power of a platform that is incredibly knowledgeable. And now they help you find people that are similar. When this started going on several years ago, I went crazy trying it. And because it's been like, you may feel that they just launched this. The lookalike audience has been around for a couple of years now. When they launched it, it was not really successful. They didn't have the data gathering that they have now. Right now, it is my biggest source of power to be able to find new people interested in our products. Something that you guys want to start exploring. I actually build audiences of all kinds of people, lookalike of my own customers, of people that message my page, of people that actually see my videos. I build a lot of different audiences, and based on that, I do my targeting. I don't do random targeting at all, ever. So this is something for you guys to think about. So in short, summary, what do we got? Free audiences, and that's it. Whatever audience that you have is going to fit in one of those free categories. Audience number one is going to be the core audience, based on interest, based on Facebook data. Audience number two is going to be your custom audience, based on your customer list, based on people that engage with your videos, with your page. Customer audience, custom audience, right? And number three is going to be the lookalike audience on any of those things. Possibilities are endless. But now you know what are the three types of audiences that you need to go after and you need to learn to handle on Facebook advertising. That should help you. I'll see you guys in the next one.